Twitch chat explains what we added 1 bits to Dragon Gems Power-Ups Redemption.
My things ready to go. Should have been having my things ready to go before, but whatever. What does a ghost mom say when she gets in the car? Fasten your seat belts.
Get out.
Alright, disc 2. Yeah, let's restore. I think I need to recalibrate too. Hold on. Gotta make myself look presentable to the webcam so that maybe my eyes won't be as twitchy. Alright. So we know our mission. How do I play it? Alright. So, I think what I need to do, so we found out I've got to get on to Persephone. I don't remember what I need to do there. I think, yeah, I think the Lexington's where we want to be. Don't eat the food? What food? Oh no, I am the Lexington, right? How do I... okay, here we go. I thought Persephone had to stay in Hades because Hades loved her and wouldn't let her go. Alright, so we've established the link over to the Jericho. Let's do Bravo. This should get the, well, I mean, it's not going to right now. Because I don't think I have the homing beacon open. Your head, in your head. Ariadne now holding 1,000 meters from the Jericho, awaiting homing beacon activation. Okay. Get on up and yout. I think that was deck 6. You know what? Yeah, okay. I think I need to go up to the bridge. So I think I need some information.
Deck 1.
But I don't know what information I'm trying to have here. Showing a view of the outside of the Lexington. Pictures being fed from one of the external microcams mounted on the ship's radiator fins. Nope. Maybe the tactical console. Tactical station. The screen sits atop the console covered with various controls and what looks like a recently installed interface port of some kind. Can I use the tactical
Pipe
console?
Telecom System Initialization Checklist Revision 3.1. This automated checklist has been prepared in order to simplify the activation and use of the experimental TX-15 Teradyne Hype Telepresence Control System components. These include the TX-15 RC09 Client Battle Direction Software for the Basilisk Strike Craft, the TX-15 Block 2 Cyber System software upgrade for the main computer, the Telecom Man-Machine Interface, and the Hype Mutagenic Serum.
I hit the wrong button.
Retro. Want to go for a walk?
Nice.
Please stand by while the TX-15 Block 2 software upgrade runs a self-diagnostic to ensure proper operation. Thank you. Hype Telecom Checklist Step 1. Manually reprogram all RC09 battle drones to be used with the Hype Telecom system. Use the arming console in each of the weapons bays to activate drones in storage, program their onboard computers for telecom operation, load them on the launcher, and hand them off to the main computer. The Hype Telecom program is coded as 180 in the Armor Servo Mech data store.
Okay, so I gotta program the console in each of the weapon bays with code 180.
Step 1 has not been completed. No drones are available for telecom operation. Hype Telecom system initialization terminated.
You could have at least told me what the other steps were. Okay. Bots have always have taken over this stream. This stream is a bot stream. Didn't you know that? You think I'm a real cat sitting here? I mean, I'm very cat-like in a lot of ways. I'm not gonna lie. I'm certainly a fat cat. Let's go down to them weapon bays. Where did the skeleton
Weapons
keep his
bays.
money? In the crypto market. Alright, let's start with the left-hand side. Abuse. Golf Hotel India. Huh? program. I'm going to have to do this for each of them. Why is there no sound for that? Okay. We'll program 180. Load. Hopefully I can... Oh, good. Like, hopefully I can skip that and don't have to watch that whole thing every time. Okay, so I've done 3 here. Use the consoles in each of the weapons bay to program, load, and hand off all the drones in storage. When you're done, there are 9 active drones loaded in the rotary launchers and ready for combat. Oh, nice. It didn't make me do all of them. That's great. Oops. I'm just going to double check. Dang it. Hello? Oh, okay. They've all been loaded and handed off. It does. And one of the creepy things about it, it's not so much in this one, but in the other ones, like I'll open a door and I would walk into the place and I'd be sitting there looking around the room and all of a sudden the my mind went blank. The door would shut behind me. It's pretty nice. Just a nice, nifty little
Deck
feature.
1.
In your head, in your head, zombie.
Hype Telecon system initially. Step 1 has been completed successfully. At least 1 drone is now available for telecon operation.
Okay.
Step 2. Initialize the Hype Telecon software, enter the release codes, and plug in the Telecon Man-Machine Interface, or Telecon MMI. You will recognize the Telecon MMI as a pair of outsized goggles with a cable terminating in a standard bus connector.
I'm going to have to enter the release code. The release codes, plug in the system, okay?
Step 2 has not been completed. The MMI unit is not responding. Please check all cable connection.
Alright, so attach the cable to the headset. Connector on one end of the head's cable fits neatly into a port on the headset. Okay. Attach the cord running from the headset to the port on the console. And then let's put on the headset. You can still see through the lenses that will most likely become opaque when the system is activated.
Hype Telecon system. Step 1 has been completed. Step 2. Step 2 has been completed successfully. The main computer and the MMI unit are now ready for telecon operations. Step
Okay.
3. After briefing the operator on the risks and side effects associated with the HYPE telecon system, prepare an 18 milliliter dose of HYPE in a glucose suspension. Inject the operator with the HYPE dosage. Wait 30 minutes. Do not be alarmed by side effects, which may include temporary nausea, acute pain, and dizziness. When operator is ready, place MMI unit on head. Step 3 has not been completed. Operator does not have necessary neural pathways and brain structures in place for HYPE telecon op.
Okay, so I gotta inject. So, I don't think we're gonna see anything, but content warning. This is, I guess, using drug use. How do I use the... Just use it? You roll up one of your sleeves and gently put the needle into one of the veins on the inside of your arm. I don't have a .cw or a content warning command. I just say it. The hypo dispenses the serum from the ampule and you feel a burning sensation. A few seconds later, you are sicker than you have ever been in your life. It takes several minutes for the clouds of pain to recede enough for you to get your bearings. Alright.
HYPE telecon system.
I'm glad that it didn't
initialization
actually blur my
checklist
vision.
Revision. Step 1.
That would have been annoying.
Step 2. Step 3. After briefing the HYPE telecon system now coming online. Stand by.
Ew. Fancy. Uh-oh. Welcome to the HYPE telecon system. A series of training simulations must be completed before the HYPE telecon system will attain operational readiness. These simulated encounters will acclimate both the operator and the ship's main computer to the mechanics of the HYPE telecon system. The simulations will also provide basic tactical training. The training simulations will use the actual computer hardware aboard the battle drones, so all active drones must be loaded and programmed for HYPE telecon operations before training begins. Control of the HYPE telecon system will be released to the operator once all training scenarios have been completed successfully. Okay, I'm not reading everything. Alright, fundamentals. An enemy frigate is attacking with 2 active drones. Go with the default drone weapons loadout. You'll have opportunities to experiment with different loadouts in later scenarios. Slow down the speed of the scenario and take your time. Familiarize yourself with the HYPE telecon system and interface. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just leave it on default and see what happens. Alpha Bravo Charlie. Alpha and Bravo are fighters. Charlie through Golf are attack, which I'm assuming means that it's like a combination of fighter bomber. And then Hotel India are just bombers.
Twitch chucked X1 Betties. We added
Deploying.
bits to Dragon Gems Power-Ups Redemption.
Okay, they're on guard. They're down here. I didn't want to zoom in. Just wanted to change where I was seeing.
Alpha. Tracking target. Bravo. Tracking target. Charlie. Tracking target. Delta. Tracking target.
Oh, I see. There's some scrolling
Echo.
availability.
Tracking target. Delta. Tracking target. Foxtrot. Tracking target. Hotel. Tracking target. India. Tracking target.
I probably should have put one of the fighters on each of these things.
Alpha. Holding position.
Wow, my people suck.
Charlie. Tracking target. Golf. Tracking target.
And let's try this again.
Deploying. Alpha. Tracking target. Bravo. Tracking target. Charlie. Tracking target. Delta. Tracking target.
We're gonna do the squeegee deegee.
Echo. Tracking target. Foxtrot. Tracking target. Golf. Tracking target.
Said something about changing the speed, but I didn't see a speed option. Pause. Maybe it was just trying to tell me not to be hasty. But what if I like haste? And Dragon Gem, I hope you're enjoying embigifying things. Am I not? No, I'm hearing it. Why does it seem like there's a lot of noise coming across on the thing, but there's not? Are you guys hearing a lot of stuff? I just hear the beeps of the when I'm selecting things and the voice talking. Oh, okay. I'm probably not hearing it really then because there's like real world hum going on I'm gonna get you, little fishies. I'm gonna get you, little fishies. Oh yeah, I guess I'm hearing the wow, wow. Oh no, this is speed. Okay. I thought that was the zoom level. This stuff was supposed to make me respond better than any of the computers could, and yet... You know what? Obviously I suck, so I'll let the computer take over.
All enemy drones have been destroyed. All enemy ships have been destroyed.
Alright. Missile defense, huh? So I wonder then if that's... So the fighter configuration... Lightly armored, highly maneuverable, which are typical for reconnaissance and light attack missions. Okay. Attack is... I see. Attack are heavily armed and armored, which means that they are good for escorting bombers or for defending ships. And bombers are heavy ordnance. So I don't know if I should be changing. No enemy missiles are currently detected. So I don't know which of these is good for defending against missiles. I guess we'll go with the default and see what happens.
All enemy drones have been destroyed. All
does this
enemy
missile do?
ships have been destroyed.
I sent out one missile and it went whee. Okay, line of sight. No capital ships, just one drone. Okay.
Deploying.
Are they...
All enemy drones have been destroyed. Target destroyed.
Uh-oh. Are we about to get hosed?
All enemy ships have been destroyed.
Okay. I am definitely going to let the computer do this, because I apparently suck. A Hussein-class frigate. No enemy drones. A destroyer. I
Deploying.
think leaving it balanced is probably going to be the best. Looks like I fired a missile or two. I guess that's all
enemy
fair
drones
since
have been destroyed. Heavy
I did
target
not,
destroyed. All enemy ships have been destroyed.
actually take the hype myself. A Gorbachev class cruiser, okay.
Deploying.
Enemy missiles coming. We got a full complement of drones. More than a full complement.
Heavy target destroyed.
Oh, the other one's coming from the other side, huh?
All enemy drones have been destroyed.
Oh, man.
All enemy ships have been destroyed.
Okay. Taking the offensive, huh? A Beijing-class cruiser.
Deploying.
Gotta take out this Beijing before another cruiser shows up. Or frigate, or whatever they are.
All enemy drones have been destroyed. All enemy ships have been destroyed.
Yeah, I sure didn't have anything left, though. Miller's Nightmare. You've detected the presence of a Geneva-class heavy cruiser near the other side of the planet, but where are her drones? Uh-huh. Delta Pavonis 5. Johann Miller, commanding officer of the Allied heavy cruiser CVS Trifid, lost his own ship and the 3 cargo vessels he was escorting when the captain of the UN cruiser came up with the innovative attack pattern you're about to see here. Okay.
Deploying.
I'm expecting some people to show up. Some drones to suddenly appear near my ships. kind of weird pattern are these people doing? Were they just down there, like hiding?
Heavy target
Where's
destroyed.
this drone G6?
All
we
enemy
found it.
ships have been destroyed.
Yeah, only lost most of my complement. Acid test. Ooh, we're gonna have some hallucinations. Oh yeah. Alright. The battleship Mao is attacking with a full complement of active drones. The Lexington is massively outgunned. Victory conditions remain the same. Repel the enemy drones and then destroy the capital ship. This scenario is completely impossible using conventional tactics, hardware, and software. The Mao would destroy the Lexington, all the Lexington's drones, and the Jericho under almost any circumstances. Well, let's see how the computer does.
Deploying.
One enemy missile detected. They have 18 drones. Wow. I thought they weren't supposed to be able to handle more than 9 drones at a time.
All enemy drones have been destroyed. All enemy ships have been destroyed.
I like how most of the time my drones destroy the ships before my missiles even get close to them. Okay. So now I have that stuff. Am I still wearing this helmet? I am. Let's remove the headset. Alright, so we got... What did that say? You disconnect the headset? Probably, I'm assuming. Well, we've got the tactical system set up so that I can deal with attacks from the enemy. Although a fat lot of good it does if I don't happen to be around.
Deck 6.
Yeah, this looks like the deck I'm looking for. Come from the land of the ice and snow where the midnight suns and the hot springs blow. Shuttle bay, depressurize. Open door. Activate the homing beacon. Close the door. Pressurize. Open the control room door. A weird looking shuttle. This is the lander's cargo compartment. It looks like it has been configured for science operations. The rows of modular cabinets and storage units must house the instruments and equipment for the science team. AKA me now. A gas cartridge. It's a saloon. Okay. A wire spool. Okay. What? Locked. Get out of here. I'm trying to do something. Why you coming in here? Making noise. Lighting up the place. Who you think you are? Who? Bop. Doop-a-doo-wah-doo-bop. Get out of here. Do-wop. Doop-a-doop-a-bow. Bow. Where's it? Ah. Just trying to be sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Where's it? Ah. Y'all, I'm slightly colorblind, so it kind of blends in with that copper color. What? Hey, Big D. Welcome in. How are you doing? Going live and deciding.
Twitch chucked X2 BTs. We added ein Bits and ein Bonus Bits to Dragon Gems Power-Ups Redemption.
And a probe launcher. Okay. These compartments compare. HerrBawl. HerrBawl can speak. The midship compartment of the lander is an odd octagonal. Let me try that again. An odd octagonal area between the cargo compartment and the flight deck. You surmise that this area is used for equipment and consumable storage for the lander and its crew. Nice. Well, enjoy your lurking and enjoy. Ooh, that's a lot of oxygens. How many can I take? Apparently 2 is enough. Okay. Enjoy working on, I'm assuming, assets. Oh, I see. It's just all of these storage are the same thing. Alright, so that means I can connect that oxygen up to my suit. And then I should also be able to reassemble my cutting torch? Cutting torch. Torch wasn't designed to accommodate a suit oxygen tank, but you managed to attach it to the torch framework, get it hooked up to the torch feeds with a few minutes worth of effort. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. So a seismic probe, huh?
Twitch chucked X1 Betties. We added ein Bits to Dragon Jam's
I'm
Power
gonna
Ups
guess
Redemption.
seismic probe. Its purpose is to monitor seismic activity in the crust of a planet. It is intended to be deployed explosively so that it can embed itself in a cliff or rock face and then transmit data back to the ship through a cluster of antennae on the tail end of the probe. So let's put this puppy into the probe launcher and then do our best not to shoot the probe launcher off where it shouldn't be. This is a cylindrical cartridge with a slot on one end. A label on the cartridge reads, "Caution, contents under extreme pressure." Oh, you know what? I'll bet you. I bet that we have to also put this into the probe launcher. I'll bet you this is the propellant. The cartridge fits neatly into a slot on the back of the launcher. And then a wire spool. Length of reinforced wire is wound around a plastic spool about 30 centimeters in diameter. 30 centimeters, so like... Oh, okay. I was like, what sort of a crazy-ass wire is like almost a foot wide? But I get it. The spool that it's spooled around is 30 centimeters. Okay. The wire consists of fiber optic data cables interwoven with nearly unbreakable monofilament carbon fiber strands covered with a thick rubber-like insulator that is heavily textured. Maybe I'm supposed to also attach that? Nope. Or the other way. Okay. So I've got wire for some purpose. This is the flight deck for the planetary lander. 2 contoured seats face flight controls on the curved windows of the lander's bubble cockpit. Alright, so I'm assuming that I can't control the deck and stuff from here. So I think, now that I have the oxygen, that I need to go back to... Oops. Back to the control room. Shut the control room door. Depressurize the shuttle bay. Open the shuttle bay door. Now, before I kill myself on accident, well, first of all, let's save. Okay, I'm wearing the vacuum suit. Then let's put on the helmet.
Attention, enemy contacts are inbound to our position.
Okay. Let me take the helmet off. I wonder if I have to go all the way back up to the bridge or if I can go to the computer place. I mean, I guess I'll just go up to the bridge. I don't know that there's an appreciable amount of time difference between the two.
Deck 1.
I wonder if that was supposed to be timed like that, or if I was a little bit slow and so it came. You know what I mean.
Attention, enemy contacts are inbound to
Yeah,
our
I'm working on
position.
it. Attention, you're a slow man. Yeah, I got it. I understand. The computer has given you enough warning so that you have enough time to prepare for combat. You spend a final few anxious moments waiting for the enemy ships to come within effective range of the Lexington. When they do, you jack into the Hypcon telecon system. Do your thing, computer. 2 enemy capital ships. No enemy drones have yet been detected. I don't believe it.
Deploying.
So every other time it's like Wolfpack. And this time they split it, huh?
All enemy drones have been destroyed.
Well,
Heavy
hopefully I
target
can repair
destroyed.
mine if...
Heavy
target
All enemy
destroyed.
ships have been destroyed.
Yeah. This is a total trip. There's no way you'd have flute players out in the middle of space. Oh yeah. We kill and kill again. Wonder what it's going to tell me if I use it without there being any enemies around. There are no enemy contacts within sensor range. Okay. You disconnect the headset from the tactical interface. If you'll excuse me, I've got to go fly a little flight. I don't remember what I'm supposed to be doing on the ground, on the planet. I think I'm supposed to be trying to discover like a civilization or something that was there. There's some sort of structure underground that is not natural. It appears to be man-made.
Deck
Well, not
6.
man-made. It appears to be made by some sort of intelligence. Here, let's put this puppy back on. Can't. You do some things for me automatically, but not others, huh? Game. Okay. This is... Yeah. I am on fire. I'm like Dylan. I spit hot fire. I don't. I can hardly rap. Nice. Depressurize the control room. What? What? Good thing I saved right there, huh? Alright. Do I still have enough oxygen in this oxygen tank? Attach the tank to this oxygen suit. Okay. Put on the helmet. You hear the click click. Okay, well, I guess I didn't hear the Darth Vader breathing sound before. So silly me. Alright. Now we'll depressurize the control room. Nice of it to not let me get, like, very far before saying, oh, by the way, you're dead. Get on the floor, everybody do the dinosaur. Alright. I don't remember if there was anything I had to do about getting down to the planet's surface. Can I take more oxygen? You have enough. Shh. I'll tell you when I have enough. Never. That's the answer. Vertical line of displays and indicators provide information about the lander systems, okay? You try to use the flight controls and find that they are locked out. The Ariadne's flight computer is still slave to the Jericho's main computer. The only answer seems to be manually shut down the onboard system and bring them back up again. Something that worked once before for the Lexington Something that worked once before for the Lexington's infinitely more sophisticated main computer system. You trip a row of breaker switches and the systems power down. When you reactivate them, the autopilot apparently thinks the lander has been brought out of storage for the first time and begins a lengthy pre-flight checklist, performing a low-level diagnostic on every single lander hardware and software systems. This could take hours. You back away from the flight controls. You can't do anything to speed up the progress of the system. The lander will be ready for you when it finishes running through its checklist. Well, okay. I guess I was supposed to have done that before getting out and trying to do anything. So I guess I'll go conserve oxygen.
Attention, enemy contacts are inbound to our position.
And go fight some more enemy ships. Those doors. Pressurized. What? Why was I starting to stutter there? That was weird. Metal. I don't know why I had to remove the whole system. As you pull the suit off, you remove the oxygen tank. See, I didn't notice before.
Attention, enemy contacts are inbound to our position.
Why did the pirate's son enlist for the Marines? He didn't want to be in the army. Or apparently you want to be a sailor.
Get out.
Deck 1.
Shakalaka. Let's get these doubloons. Uh-oh. Wonder if there's a way to repair those.
Fighter drone. Deploying.
Helsinki, huh? I got a crud load of drones. What the hell? So I guess the question is, do I need to go down to the weapons bay and see if I can repair any of these things, or should I just ignore it and survive and move on, you know?
All enemy drones have been destroyed.
Why did the system not send Hotel in India over there to fight the enemy ship? Aren't they the bombers?
Heavy target destroyed.
Escorting what? Can you kill these missiles before they hit us? Apparently they can.
All enemy ships have been destroyed.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be surviving another encounter. Look at all these vignettes. Sheesh. With the headset, it's going to automatically disconnect it for me. Wrong side. Why is there even a way to go over there? I mean, I guess I don't have anything else to do until I get notification that the pre-flight check is done for the Aradni. So let me go ding around in here and see if there's something about repairing them. Well, I guess that answers that question. Hopefully there's not going to be any other reference to ships coming. Because I am nigh on defenseless.
Deck 6.
I'm glad this is all in English and not something like Esperanto. Alright, so oxygen back to there. Put the vacuum suit on. Put the helmet on. Nobody watch my typing skills. So I don't know if I spelled breach correctly there or not. Depressurize the control room. Houston, we don't have a problem. At their door. Lander has finally finished its checklist. You go back inside the Lexington long enough to compose a quick message describing the events to date, a message to be left looping on the ship's computer in case you don't make it back. As you record the message, you can't help but think that fate has caught up to you after all. It's your turn to leave a message for those that will follow. You think of all the haunting logs and messages that were left behind by Dayna, Fran, and the other members of the Lexington's dead crew. When you are done, you return to the shuttle bay, discard some of the items that you think will be of no use on Persephone, and enter the lander. A moment is needed to get buckled in, button up the lander, and engage the craft's autopilot. The lander's small OMS engines fire, and you are on your way. Ooh, disc free. I don't particularly want to hear alarm sounding. What's going on here? Autopilot. Oh yeah, that bait. Okay. Can they tell me anything? They're dead. Do I need any more oxygen? I feel like I do. The ramp on the back of the lander was torn off by the impact. The cargo compartment is open to the toxic atmosphere of Persephone. Climb down the lander, taking extra care in the heavy gravity of Persephone to avoid falling any significant distance. You are standing in a furrow dug by the lander and the crash. A turbulent sky filled with roiling clouds is visible above. Why did we crash? Snow, metal fragments. The belly of the lander seems to have shredded on impact. A number of shards of the whole metal are littered around the impact site. I'll take some metal. Can I take some more? More? How many can I take? How many do I need? To Did they know what they were doing with a goblin like me? Okay, I have plenty. The ground is covered with seemingly endless drifts of dirty snow, given the negative 290 degrees temperatures. Didn't say which type of degrees. But negative 290 is pretty cold for everything. And impossibly cold if it's talking about Kelvin, so we know they're not talking about Kelvin. They have to be talking about either Celsius or Fahrenheit. Kind of seems like they'd probably be talking about Fahrenheit, since we are the alliance of non-UN people. And the odd purplish color, you surmise that the snow is probably a mixture of frozen chemicals, perhaps hydrocarbons like methane or octane. I'm going to take some. Scoop up a glove full of the chemical snow and let it dribble back down. Well, that's not what I meant. So that's something I could... I want to take like a little dribble of it in case I can like ignite it. Can I ignite it? Burn the torch and ignite the pilot. You melt some of the snow, it turns to liquid and then quickly evaporates. Darn. I was hoping it was going to just, like, send the whole planet up. Nope. Planetary lander. The sky. The sky overhead is seething, roiling mass of brown and gray clouds. That's what those colors are supposed to be? Lit from inside by flashes of lightning. You can hear the crackle and hiss of the continuous electrical storm through your suit mics. What about my suit Jeffs? Or my suit Alfred? Rock spires. This is the surface of Persephone. You are standing on a plain covered with chemical snow, a monotonous landscape broken by stark fingers of rock pointing skyward in the distance. The cloud layer above is periodically lit by streaks of lightning. You can hear the crackling of the perpetual electrical storm through your suit mics. Sharp spires of jagged rock claw skyward from the endless drifts of chemical snow. Okay, some cliffs. Sheer rock cliffs rise to meet the turbulent sky. These snow-covered rock formations are shaped like a huge hand, with canyons defining the spaces between the fingers. Ice. Sticking out of the snow and running down the sides of the cliffs in frozen rivulets are a series of sharp chemical ice formations that resemble large crystals. In the negative 290 degree temperature of Persephone, the ice is as hard, if not harder, than rock. Can I take some? You hammer away at the ice crystal. It shows no sign of giving way. Well, then I guess you're going to have to cut a foot. I can't think of non-cuss words to say. You little the ice, it turns quickly to evaporate. Okay. Alright. Well, I guess I gotta say cut specifically. No? I guess I'm not supposed to get a piece of the ice then. Okay. Do you think it's going to make it obvious when I need to use the things, or should I just try shooting it in the cliff? Right here. I guess in the past it's been pretty good about telling me if I'm doing things at the wrong time. Shoot the probe launcher at the cliffs. You might never get the probe back. Okay. Look down this way. Still on the surface of Persephone, huh? The only... well, not the only. A complaint I have, like for instance there, This gives me no indication if this is going to turn me to the right 90 degrees or spin me all the way back around to look at where I was just at. I mean, apparently it spun me all the way back around. Cliffs and ice. Ice and cliffs. Yep. Okay. Well, that certainly looks like a new thing. A silver tower emerges out of the huge ice formation at the back of the box canyon. The structure appears to be made of a reflective metal that glows dully in the dim light coming out of the turbulent sky. You climb slowly up the jagged ice formation, fighting the oppressive gravity of this hellish world. Eventually you reach a point about a third of the way up the formation. You can't climb any further without falling. You approach precariously on the ice formation at the end of the box canyon. Too close to the antimatter bomb when it goes off and you're killed by the shockwave from the left. Well, I would have thought, but apparently thought wrong, that 30 seconds would be enough time for me to get down. There. So I want to... Okay, so that's the box canyon. So clicking forward just has me go forward. Like this appears to be the same as that, maybe? Let's see. No, it is not the same. Alright. So let's go in here and see what's in here before I antimatter bomb the other place. Sticking out of the snow and running down the side. Nope, it's the same thing there. Can I take this piece? No. Can I cut this piece? Nope. Climb over the cliff? Cliffs are much too steep to climb. Yeah, that's what I thought. Do you think... Nope. I don't think. Do I need to... You strip the rubber-like insulation from the end of the wire so that they have a 10 centimeter length of the thin interwoven strands underneath. Thread these strands through the metal fittings and antenna on the back of the seismic probe. When you are done, the wire is securely attached. Where's the new probe? There's the new probe. Put the seismic probe in the launcher. Nice. Okay. So now I got a wire spool to get me out. Two places. The problem is I don't know specifically where I'm supposed to be trying to go. That looks very dirty. Like lewd. Or maybe it is I who am lewd. Get back to the box canyon. Up the box canyon. I wonder if I can... You line up the probe launcher on the tower and pull the trigger. The probe deploys with a loud crack. It sails into the air. A fraction of a second later, it hits the metal tower, bounces off, and skitters all the way back down to the face. All the way back down the ice face. You retrieve the probe. Well, that's nice of it. Alright, so let's try shooting it at... You know what? Maybe I was right with this antimatter bomb. I'll just give it more time. Like, I don't need hours. I don't know. It didn't tell me how long it took me to get up here. Scramble your way back down the ice formation, taking care not to go fast, lest you fall in the heavy gravity. I don't know how far away I need to be, or how long it considers 5 minutes. Well, I guess that answers that question. Okay. I'm thinking maybe if I go all the way back and get into the thingamajigger. I almost made it last time, so we'll see. Okay. So it's not... I don't think I'm doing the right thing. We'll go back down to this one. And let me try shooting the... Nope. You line up the probe launcher on the aircraft in case you need later. Okay. Like, I can't attach it to the cliffs here and then, like, move it around with it over there. I mean, I guess I've got this torch. Let me try melting my way through this. Crank up the cutting torch. The dense hydrocarbon atmosphere of Persephone causes the normally crisp blue flame to burn twice its normal size with a strange muddy yellow color. You bring the flame to bear on the ice, taking care not to lose your rounds. After several minutes of hard work, you succeed in melting a small cylindrical hole. Understood. Carefully set the bomb in the hollow that you created. I'm working under the assumption that I still don't want to be anywhere near that, even with it being in a little hollow instead of just laying on the ice formation. But now I'm wondering if all the other times, if it was like I was setting it on the ice formation and then trudging down the ice formation, and at the same time the bomb was just comically like tumbling after me or something. Alright, so I was told that you can hit Z to pass time. The antimatter bomb detonates inside the box canyon. Now, did anything change in here? Doesn't look like it.
Twitch chat X1 Betties. We added ein Bits to Dragon Gems Power-Ups Redemption.
What am I looking at? What do you mean? Or did you just want to use your eyeball giant? Or am I doing crazy eyes again? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. And welcome in, One Lung Johnny. Got a right to be hostiles. Yeah. The tunnel ends abruptly in a huge cavern dug out of the rock of the planet's crust. You are standing at the edge of a sharp drop-off, looking into a vast square stone cathedral that must be thousands of meters on a side. Bridge, cavern... Vast cavern... Okay. Carved out of the rock that makes up the planet's crust, a diamond-shaped platform is suspended in the middle of the cavern. 4 bridges lead from the platform to openings in the walls of the cavern. Is this the crystal? Where's the crystal platform? Oh, okay. That's the platform. Got it. A raised diamond-shaped platform emerges from the intersection of the 4 bridges that converge at the center of the cavern. It is made of a darker material than the bridges. Bridges made of a strange mottled material lead from the diamond-shaped platform in the middle of the vast cavern to openings in the walls. So the question becomes, do I need to try to get...
Twitch chucked X2 BTs. We added ein Bits and ein Bonus Bits to Dragon Gems Power-Ups Redemption.
Does it? Right. I probably don't have it set up to differentiate yet. Differentiate's not the right word, but I've taken the burden off. Yeah, so they added the right. Twitch is doing the thing where they, for if you do power-ups, or if you cheer with 300 or more bits, they're adding stuff on, and it counts as Twitch cheering themselves. So if you were doing bits, like the 300 or more bits, you would get my alert for that. But then because this is a separate thing and I don't have a way to tell it, hey, ignore any of the things that Twitch does, they also get an alert. Yeah. And welcome in, Tinderly. Yeah. Sometimes my brain just stops. Do I want to shoot it at the... Yeah, okay. I can't get the platform, but let's shoot it at the bridge. You line up your sights of the probe launcher with the bridge structure across the chasm, and then decide to aim high in order to compensate for the heavy gravity. With some trepidation, you pull the trigger. Nice. The probe seems to have anchored itself solidly in the material of the bridge. You pull the wire taut and secure it to this side of the chasm. As you are struggling with this end of the wire, you accidentally knock the probe launcher into the chasm. Oh yeah, accidentally. Uh-huh. Alright. We've hardly seen this particular filter. Yo. And welcome in, House of Mike. Thank you. What does that say? 200 IQ? Nice. I'm going to show you all something.
Twitch chucked X2 BTs. We added ein Bits and ein Bonus Bits to one Long Johnny's Power-Ups Redemption.
Nice pose. I like it. How to show this. Let's do it this way. Here. And here. Alright, so we're on that. Alright. So I was mostly... So this is a filter. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, here, I'm trying to show... Hello? Ah, there we go. Get out of here. Who told you were allowed to be here? Get. Where? Get. Here. Is it gone? Huh? What? So this is a filter by Dragon Gem. I can never remember the fellow's name. It's the retro filter pack. Specifically, this is the CRT filter. And when I was playing around with it, there is a setting in the CRT geometry, so you could kind of change the shape of the finite singularity. Thank you. You can kind of change the shape of what it's looking like. So specifically, there's a barrel distortion, and right now it's at 14.10%. Watch this. Why does it not seem like it's doing anything this time? Oh, because I'm an idiot. It turned itself off, right? Okay, let me turn it back on. Alright. What'd I say? 14.10? Okay. Heck, name it. Computer. Alright, so 14.10%, right? Watch this. Ooh. Hi guys. How y'all doing? Hee 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 hee. I gotta set it back. Okay. And I just thought that effect was pretty funny. So that's where I have it set to the 14.10% because that kind of vaguely looks like you're looking through the peephole in a door. You know how it kind of gives everything a slight fisheye view? But it's not actually a fisheye lens. Alright. Who am I and what am I doing? Right. It anchored itself. Right. And I knocked the probe launcher into the chasm so that they don't have to worry about me. Carrying that around and wondering, oh, do I need to use it? Now, so that didn't get me over there. You're standing at the very edge of the tunnel opening next to a drop-off of several hundred meters. Okay. Wire stretched across the chasm that separates you from the bridge structure in the center of the huge cavern. When I clicked on the wire, was there... traverse. Okay, hold on. Is it gonna just let me go, or is it gonna be like, you can't do that? You ponder the situation for a moment before attempting to traverse the chasm. Eventually you realize that you can clip the tether rings on your suit to the wire and dangle over the chasm, pulling yourself along the length of the wire until you reach the other side. You can thus avoid having to cross hand over hand, which would have been relying on your arms to support 2.5 times the normal weight of your suit and body. You put your plan into action. The crossing takes only a few minutes, but feels like an eternity. When you finally reach the bridge structure in the cavern, you barely have enough strength to pull yourself up and over the edge and flop onto the surface. You rest for a few precious moments, trying to regain your breath. When you feel like you can resume normal movement, you stand up. Nice. And theoretically, I might be able to go back. What was that? Why did something happen? That was weird. Ooh. Wait a second. Is there more than one cavern and platform? No. Alright. So it defaulted me to looking to the outside. Do you think I should go there, or should I go back and look at the platform first? And I guess I'll start with this. I can always come back if I need to. Maybe. Wow. That was almost enough to make me nauseous. This is a secondary, smaller cavern with rock and crystal walls. A pyramidal depression in the middle of the cavern draws your attention. Does it though? Does it, game? Does it draw my attention?
Twitch chuckt X1 Bitties. Cheer 1, we added ein Bits to Dragon Gems Power-Ups Redemption.
Huh? Put. Oh, bridge. Look at the silicate. Thank you. This seems to be a silicate material of some kind. Looks like it was melted into place. Interesting. Strange blue crystals formations protrude from the cavern wall. Pyramidal depression is carved into the rock of the cavern floor. The rock of the cavern seems to be made up of smooth rock, or the floor of the cavern. Now I saw a bridge somewhere here. I can't take the silicate. Cavern is lined up with bands of rock and blue crystal. The floor that you are currently standing on is actually an elevated surface. You are surrounded by a moat of what looks like a solid, glassy-looking substance. Some more of the silicate. Okay. I can kind of go down into the depression, but am I going to be able to get back up if I do? I've got a save not too far back. You are now inside the pyramidal depression. The depression has smooth walls that gently slope up to the cavern floor above. In the middle is a platform of some kind. Octagonal ochre block. This is an octagonal block of an ochre-colored substance. Upon closer examination, you see that the ochre material is a combination of different elements in a crystalline matrix. Alright, before I do that, let's look at the platform. Made of a lighter mottled blue-gray material, an octagonal block of an ochre color, right, is anchored to the platform or laying on the platform. Alright, let's see if we can take it. Yeah, it's anchored to the platform. You tug hard on the block, but it is held in place by a force generated by the platform. I'm going to fix the platform with the multi-tool. Try the various attachments, but nothing productive comes of the exercise. Okay. Okay. I guess my next favorite tactic. Bring the hissing flame to bear on the platform. The modeled material seems to be highly heat resistant. It does not redden or even appear to change temperature. Okay, what about you? I'll cut you. Door-like material heats up slowly but does not melt. Okay. It is not, but it kind of, I mean, it kind of can work as it. Okay, so I can get back out easily. Alright, so... hold on, let's go with this. I don't really have a sense of direction here, so I don't know where it is. But let's assume that this is south. Yeah, it's definitely because I'm currently wearing the vacuum suit. Because I'm on the planet currently. So yeah, it's only, you can only hear that when I'm wearing the vacuum suit. A lip of the lighter colored bridge material runs around the edge of the diamond-shaped platform in the center of the cavern. A raised diamond-shaped platform emerges from the intersection of the 4 bridges that converge at the center of the cavern. 4 bridges lead from the platform into openings in the wall of the cavern. No, definitely. I agree with that. And I think I even noted it before when I had to wear the suit while we were playing. It definitely sounds like somebody using a breathing apparatus. This is the top of the platform in the center of the cavern where all of the bridges converge. Seems to be the focus of the vast installation. Okay, but I can't like look down at it. So I'm guessing I have to somehow power up all of these things to like transmit power to this or some sort of focus to this center thing and then do something with it. So let's go to the north here. Secondary, yep. Pyramidal depression in the middle, yep. So far, everything is the same. I'm going to guess this is going to be... okay. This is different. We're now inside of the pyramidal depression. The depression has smooth walls. The middle of the platform is a platform of some kind. Okay. We have a basin, a yellow crystal rod, a blue crystal rod, a drain, so like a sink, and a cylinder, some transparent tubing, and a triangular slot and a square slot. Okay. Alright, so I've noted, and thank you very much for the keyball cat, that there to the north is a contraption that appears to need something square and triangle. I don't know if the colors are also going to be important. I guess I should... yeah, I don't know. Platform made of slate-colored material is set into a pyramidal... yeah, cut into the platform is a basin of some kind. One side of the platform is a raised cube. This is a rod about 30 centimeters long, made of glowing yellow crystal. Although the body of the rod is round, the ends are square. Okay. Don't worry about it. I will tell you a little tip, though. So you can also see that Keyball Cat redeem on Dragon Gem's channel. But on her channel, it is a recording that I made and given to her. Right? When you do that redeem on my channel, what it's actually doing is replaying the setup I made to make the recording to give to Dragon Gem. And just replaying that live. So when there's like weird hiccups in the sound or that kind of thing, or the arms move a little weird for a second, that's what's happening. Because it could theoretically be slightly different every time. Let's see, so it says the yellow crystal, the end is square, so let's note that. So I'm going to guess when I come and look at the blue crystal rod that it is going to be triangular? Nope, I'm wrong. They're both the same length and made of round ends. No, the body is round, but the ends are square. So, but it looks like I can maybe take them out and move them. So I don't know if I'm going to have to figure out like what color the materials are. That boy is super good at reminding people of what time it is or what time he thinks it is. And welcome back, Dragon. The metallic cylinder is suspended over the basin by 3 crystalline tubes. 3 tubes, huh? Oh, right, because there's one out to the drain. So I'm going to guess that it's going to, like, pulverize these things that we put into here to make some sort of a liquid or something that will then drain into this basin. Yep, hold some kind of liquid. Single transparent crystalline tube leads down from the metallic cylinder into the slate platform. Its position corresponds to that of the drain in the basin. You surmise that the tube runs down into the drain. I do indeed. This is a triangular slot in the slate cube. Okay, that's all it tells me. Yep. Slate cube with a square slot and a triangular slot sits at the head of the basin. Alright, I'm going to try taking out the crystal and see if it actually does anything. Okay. Alright, so I'm just noting that it started with the blue and the yellow rod, what their positions were, but I'm going to go ahead and take them, just in case they're needed for some of the other parts to get those pieces. Alright, let's go look at the other sides. So this then would be west. Hey, what do you know? West. Okay. A lot of blue-gray material, so that's the same. Okay. It's a square crystal cube that seems to... Uh-oh. Excuse me, had a sneeze come on. Let me reread that. Square crystal cube that seems to shimmer and scintillate with blue light. On closer examination, you see that the shimmering effect is caused by a complex internal crystalline structure. Alright, am I going to be able to take it? Nope, it's anchored to the platform. Oh, there's a slot. Do you think the blue crystal rod will unlock the... You gently insert the glowing blue crystal rod into the slot. The platform, there's a low popping sound as if a field of some kind has been broken. Oh yeah. You lift the prism off the platform and meet no resistance at all. The blue key must have broken a bond of some kind between the prism and the platform. Perhaps they held an electrical charge which neutralized the bond. Nice. Alright. So I'm going to assume on the other side... that now there's going to be yellow. Right. Pop that bad boy in there. I guess how does it describe this one first? Seems to shimmer and scintillate with yellow light. Yeah, so the same thing, just yellow and of course... I mean, it says triangular, but it's not. Because the triangle is a two-dimensional shape. No, I need to be on the... Nope, that was the right side. I need to be on the north side. Alright. So, put the blue prism into the square slot. It fits perfectly. And the yellow prism in the triangular slot fits perfectly. Both prisms are in place. You watch them impatiently, expecting them to melt into the tube, cylinder, or basin, but nothing happened. Prisms so obviously belong here, but there must be another step required in order to get them to do what it serves right. Yep, you know what the other step is? I was supposed to go get the rods and bring the rods back with me after I picked the things up. But I'm a silly Billy and didn't think about it at the time. Nope, the key's stuck in the slot, so that's not the way, unless... Unless I can just cut it. Okay. I don't... Do I just need to do it a bunch of times? Uh-oh. Yep. Oh, I see. No, not restore. You may be right, Dragon. Let's see. The yellow crystal melts in the glowing yellow fluid. The fluid runs into the transparent tubing. The liquids from the melted prisms have combined to form a strange glowing green fluid. As the bottom of the basin is covered with the new substance, you notice a quick flicker out of the corner of your eye. You quickly turn your head and see a barely discernible flash of light race up the sides of the pyramidal depression.
Expertise. We added ein Witz to Dragon Gems Power-Ups Redemption.
The phenomenon is echoed by the crystal in the walls of the caverns around you, a flash of light so quick that you almost miss it, perhaps an indication of a state change in the material around you. It might well affect the entire installation. Intrigued, you turn on the scanner and hold it over the mysterious green fluid. Okay. I don't know what that's supposed to be telling me. The green fluid is composed of molecule-sized blobs. These blobs are active, moving. They almost seem to be alive. The blue and yellow prisms must have held the chemical components for these blobs in stasis. When the components combined, the result was the creation of these tiny nanomachines. Uh-oh. Right, nanomachines. Not a gray goo, but a green goo, apparently. The bottom of the basin is covered with viscous green liquid created by the combination of the yellow and blue crystals. You know from scanning the substance that it's actually composed of million upon millions of molecular-sized blob-like nanomachines. You put the metal fragments into the basin. Nothing much happens, so you retrieve them, alright? You drop the spool into the green liquid with a plop. It sits in there for a while, nothing happens. The nanomachines don't seem to be interested in it. Eventually you retrieve the spool. Okay, what do you think? Is this empty? Might want to hang on to your oxygen tanks, right? Because I'm assuming I need to figure out a way to either get them into a rod shape or get them to come with me. Well, they're not radioactive. Okay, so I guess let's go out and look at the platform and see if it has actually changed. Doesn't seem like it has. Okay, so that's not... So we've got We've got gray goo. Try cutting the goo. Nope. Doesn't like that. Doesn't seem to care about the cutting torch itself. I guess... No, it doesn't let me put the scanner there. I mean, it said there was some sort of a change, but... Wow, Twitch, you're just gonna make an announcement, huh? Made of darker material than the bridge. Okay, so that hasn't really changed. Wait. We gotta get this thing. You take the ochre block from the platform, there is no resistance at all. The force that held the block on the platform seems to have completely nullified. Aha! Okay. Now, do I just need to have that with me? Or do I need to go put that in the gray glue? You drop the ochre block into the seething green fluid. It begins to melt. You hold the scanner over the boiling liquid. Ew. What do you get if you take green and mix it with ochre? The first generation nanomachines are using the raw material of the ochre block to build millions of larger, more complex micro-machines. Oh, so they're no longer nanomachines, they're now micro-machines? I think that's trademarked. We better be careful. You fancy. Looks very much like an agitated liquid. Okay. You drop the metal fragments into the viscous liquid inside the basin. The reaction is immediate and furious. Intrigued, you turn your scanner and take a look. Eee. Once you figure out that the micro-machines in the basin are short on raw material, you make several trips back to the wrecked lander to scavenge additional pieces of the hull and ship systems. As you put each load into the basin, the metal melts away as it is disassembled by the microbots and used for some mysterious construction task. Eventually, you see the outlines of something beginning to form in the basin. After a number of trips, you start running out of easy pickings and resort to ripping cabinet doors out of the cargo compartment. By then, the basin is dominated by the gleaming metal skeleton of a large insect-like robot. The microbots are nearly done with the first of what seems to be the next generation of machines. When the new robot is nearly finished, the micro-machines in the basin begin to cannibalize each other for their final phase of construction. They have all but disappeared when the finished product, a robot that looks like a big metallic grasshopper, is complete. The new machine comes to life with a crackling hum. Blue light radiates from the inside. Its first action is to burrow into the material of the basin and disappear. Thanks. Several hours pass. Well, good thing I've got a crud ton of oxygen, apparently. As the next thing states, you maintain a vigil at the basin, making trips out to the lander only to replace your suit oxygen tanks. When your oxygen tanks reserves are nearly depleted and you are about to give up hope, you sense a vibration in the floor of the depression. A few minutes later, the construction robot trundles out of the pit it's dug and climbs up the slopes of the depression. A few seconds later, another robot, just like it, emerges from the pit and trundles up the slope and out through the tunnel entrance. A third follows, and then a fourth, and a fifth. You realize that the first robot spent those endless hours, obviously not endless, they did end, replicating itself from an ore deposit under the cavern floor. The intention of the builders must have been to have the micro-machines in the basin use the ore under the cavern floor to build the largest of the construction robots. Perhaps the composition of the slate material in the basin changed over time and prevented the tiny machines from tunneling their way down. In any case, a seemingly endless stream of robots now marches to and from the pit. I like how they got legs and what appear to be like jet engines. Unless those are like runners or something that's trailing behind them. I was wondering about those little slots on the platform. Uh-oh. Is this a Stargate they're building? Oh, it's an end portal. Or another portal. Sorry, not an end portal. I mean, I guess it could be an end portal. The builders of this installation knew that no complex machine could survive the ravages of time. They coded the designs and plans for the installation's machines inside a form of chemical DNA. I mean, okay. This DNA had the advantage of being stable over time and redundant. There must have been millions of individual molecules in the prisms you used to kick off the activation sequence. Upon activation, the chemical components combined to create nanomachines, and these nanomachines built micromachines, which built the large construction robots. The robots brought the installation to life. After a little bit of exploration, you know that all of the secondary caverns are now filled with marvelous and mysterious machines, their secrets waiting to be unraveled. These secrets will have to wait for those that follow you. You are running out of time. Your attention is focused on one machine in particular, the centerpiece of the installation. The robots have built something that looks suspiciously like a portal of some kind in the middle of the largest cavern. It might be a gateway, a transportation device intended to convey the discoverers of the installation to its builders. You pray for deliverance. You run down one of the bridges towards the platform, towards the beams of hard blue light. Boy, I'm fast. The portal seems to draw you in, to welcome you. As you get closer, the light gets brighter. Finally, you run up the steps chiseled into the platform and step into the light. Sorry, that was me making that noise, not the game. Okay. I hope this isn't making any of you nauseous. It was making me slightly nauseous. Your journey ends in a searing, brilliant white flash. You materialize back in the physical world within a cone of perfect vacuum. Air rushes in to fill the vacuum with a pop, at the same time that you are dropped on your head. Thanks. You appeared out of nowhere at a point 2 meters off of the ground. Stunned, you try and get your bearings. You are definitely not on Persephone anymore. You are inside some kind of structure surrounded by wreckage. You can see burning orange and red clouds rolling by outside an open door. Slowly you get to your feet. Closing your eyes and taking a last breath of stale suit air, you crack the seals on your helmet, you hold your breath out as long as you can, and then let it out. When you breathe back in again, you almost choke on the foul air. The good news is that it is just a bad smell. The air actually seems to be breathable. What are the odds that the builders come from an Earth-type world? 1,000,000 to 1. For a tiny moment, you feel incredibly lucky. Then again, you may be stuck on an alien world light years from Earth, your brain decaying from hype, unable to complete the mission because you have no way getting information back home. Q. I'm not sure how much of the game is left, so I know that there's this section and then like a couple more sections, but I don't know how long the sections are. Nice. We'll keep going for a little bit. Let's see. Pieces of shredded metal jut out of the rubble. You surmise that they were part of the reinforced thermocrete construction of the structures all around you. Now, why would I know that it was thermocrete? A mangled door blocks the entrance to the only intact area of the wrecked dome, and I'm assuming I can't open it. Yeah, the door doesn't budge. Some rubble. It's everywhere you look. The ground is covered with piles of debris and wreckage. Twisted metal sprouts from the stumps of reinforced structural supports. Everywhere you look, you see evidence of terrible destruction. Terrible. Terrible. Guts of the building you're in were ripped out by what must have been a hell of a shockwave. The remains of the structure were dropped in a pile not far away from where you're standing. Now, how could I tell that? This could have been a pipe or a conduit at one time. It is nothing more than rusted waste. Okay. Cables. Wrecked building. Thanks, game. You wander out of the wrecked structure through which you entered this awful place and stop when you reach a track of some kind. It leads from the heart of a vast dead city out into a desolate wasteland. The city was obviously the scene of a terrible battle. The hulks of what looked like tanks, armored personnel carriers, and aircraft are littered around the blasted ruins of buildings. Intermingled with the strangely familiar warcraft are the wrecks of weirdly organic, alien-looking machines. In spite of the biomechanical machines, this whole environment is disturbingly familiar. Not very many cities on Earth ever came close to this level of devastation, even during the worst years of the war. Still, the architecture of the buildings, the appearance of the war machines, the feel of this place, it is haunting. You have a bad feeling about this. You are standing near a track which runs into the ruined skyline of a blasted city, out into a vast wasteland. The tracks consists of a shiny metal rail, a housing, and a concrete roadbed. Hello? Put the skeletons on? No, I want you to look at them. Sheesh. These skeletons look disturbingly human. Game, how come you suddenly stopped responding to things you used to? A structural element from a blasted building protrudes from the rubble. You can't even tell what went around the fused lump. The building itself is gone. The rail looks recognizable. This appears to be a superconducting metal and ceramic rail from a maglev transportation system. Maglev systems were being deployed throughout North America before the war. This looks like an advanced version of the new systems that you saw back home. All that is left of this structure is a blasted shell. Alright, so my first immediate thought with this is that we were using some sort of a faster than light system to get here. Well, no, it wasn't even a faster than light system. Yeah, I mean, I guess it would have had to have been, because they were talking about that it took like 4 months to get out here, and I think we're 68 light years away from Earth. So it didn't take 68 years, so that means they had to have been traveling faster than light. But I don't know that if it's explained the technology enough to know whether or not that would have caused a time distortion. So what I'm basically saying is that it's possible that Earth is... No, because... Well, no, I was talking to the Admiral on the home, which was in the Erebus system, which is not Earth. It's the new home. So I wonder how much time has actually passed. Alright, can I move? I can turn around. Sure, let's touch this rail. You think I'm going to get electrocuted? Hold on. You feel nothing but the cool surface of the rail. It is devoid of any electric current or vibration. Okay. What does it look like when I turn around? APC and jellyfish robot. Okay. 2 wrecked machines are tangled up with each other at the base of the dome structure. The machine on the bottom looks vaguely familiar, kind of like an armored personnel carrier. The machine on top is a biomechanical nightmare, a cross between a metal jellyfish and a spider. This is the hulk of a bizarre machine, a rounded, smooth, organic-looking robot of some kind. A cluster of articulated limbs emerges from a trunk that sits on a tracked base. The limbs appear to end in an assortment of weapons. If there was a land-based equivalent of a high-end battle drone, this would be it. So is this the building that we were in? This is the wreck of a heavy fighting vehicle of some kind. It looks suspiciously like a main battle tank. Yeah, okay, so... But I don't seem to be able to go anywhere. Angular pylons are mounted over the track at regular intervals. You surmise that the series of pylons has something to do with the workings of the transportation system that uses the rails. So I feel like I'm just supposed to be getting information out here then. Not necessarily doing anything. At first glance, this dome structure appears to have fared better than most buildings. You know from being inside that most of the building is a mass of charred wood. I guess let's look at the sky. The sky above looks toxic. Glowing red and orange clouds whip by in the jet stream far above the surface of this blasted world. I can't do anything else with these things other than look at them. Alright. Do we think that it's time to be cutting some stuff? After checking the supply of acetylene, which is very low, you fire up the torch and apply the hissing flame to the door. The torch takes a long time to make even a small cut in the door. You realize that you will run out of acetylene long before you cut your way through. Okay. Is there anything specific I should be trying to cut then? So what I have with me is my vacuum suit helmet and the vacuum suit that I'm wearing, this wire spool, a multi-tool, my cutting torch, and an oxygen tank that's probably mostly empty. That was not what I wanted to do. I was trying to see how much oxygen was left in it. Make sure there's not something I could interact with here aside from just going out. It doesn't appear to be. Skyline is a terrible sight. The blasted ruins of what must have been awesome skyscrapers rise from the wreckage of a once great city. All that is left of this structure is a blasted shell. Oh, hello. A wasteland that is devoid of life stretches away into the distance. An ominous black tower rises out of the wasteland, many, many kilometers away. The architecture of the buildings in the blasted city stands in stark contrast to the strange lines of this dark structure. Metal housing next to the track must cover the equipment that is important to the function of the transportation system. Okay. If I fill this rail, does it... No, same thing. Okay, so... Still not giving me the option to move anywhere. Like the housing. Did it tell me something about the controls? Okay. Play the flame over the structure of the housing to one side of the rail. A small section of the metal directly under the flame glows red. Nothing else happens. There seems like a couple of times that you could soft lock yourself by with this. About... No, can't fix it. Wait. Angular pylons are mounted over the track. You surmise that the series of pylons has something to do with the work. Okay. It's not the pylons either. Unless I'm supposed to be doing something with that over here, but I don't remember seeing anything aside from the pylon. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything. Snip off a small length of wire from the spool and find no productive use for it and discard it. Okay, so I still have wire on the spool even though it looks empty. To sing and dance, I want to sing and dance. It's weird that it doesn't give me the option to just follow the rail. I mean, I know it says kilometers and kilometers away, but... Let me try the rail here. Wondering if I can like open one of these things or something. The balloon cable that melts quite satisfactorily means the fiber optic. Okay. What about the rusted pipe? Okay, how about the shredded metal? Cutting torch is nearly out of acetylene. It takes a long time to cut, so it's going to twist bar. The metal is extremely tough. It would compare favorably to HerrBawl. Okay. Alright. So now I've got some rebar. Wedge the makeshift pry bar into the space between the door and the frame and pull as hard as you can. The door bends back enough to allow you to slip by. Aha! As you enter the room, you notice a bent but colorful piece of metal on the floor. It must have fallen off of the wall. You reach down and pick it up. Dun dun dun! Transrail. Welcome to Los Angeles. Maglev Line. San Francisco to Los Angeles. This is Earth. But it can't be. The wreckage. The blasted buildings. You suspected that these were not artifacts of the same race that built the installation on Persephone. What happened? Did your voyage through the gateway create some relativistic effect? Is this Earth in the future? Why did the gateway send you here? Did the builders invade Earth while you were traveling? You feel panic and despair bubbling up inside of you. The room seems relatively intact, not too much of a surprise because this area is built like a bunker. A panel with 2 switches dominates one wall. Your attention is also drawn to a curious pile of large flat discs. pile of large flat metal discs. Each disc has red and green lights that are currently not lit. You drag one of the discs out of the pile. It is surprisingly large and heavy. What? Get here. Light, laser, Lazar, Bob Lazar, Rem Lazar. Get. I said get out. Get out. I want you out of here, you dang light. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ha! What? Surprisingly large and heavy. Okay. Text is printed above an area that is home to 2 large switches. The text says, Cargo Repulsor Holding Area. Okay, so these are the maglev discs. Got it. Maglev emergency overrides, Power switch. Induction override switch. Do I think I'll need more than one of these? Nope. Alright. So... trying to see if I could make like a what do you call it, like a seat to sit on. Okay. So a manual induction override. The power grid, which is currently off. So they kind of made it seem like you could just take anything and put it on these. Alright, well, I guess this is a spring-loaded switch identified as the manual induction override. The switch is extended, which may imply that you have overridden automatic control of the induction fields on the maglev truck. So let's try pulling it. You pull the induction switch, which actually seems more like a lever, until it has reached its fully extended position between 2 metal tines. The disc doesn't seem to fit. Okay, so none of them fit. So it looks like we're going to have like a time thing. This is a large breaker switch. Hey, Relazy, welcome in. Huh. Youngbot? Ah. I see what's happened. Somehow, a second Meownbot got going. Interesting. This is a large breaker switch linked to what is identified as the power grid by the text above it. It's currently set to off. The bot indeed does like real lazy. Alright, let's pull this thing, see what happens. You snap the breaker switch to the on position. Long dormant system. Ah, well, thank you very much for the lurk, Relazy. And have a good night. or good day. I guess you're saying tomorrow's going to be an early day for you. But have a good night, get the best sleep you can, and enjoy. You snap the breaker switch to the on position, long dormant systems come to life with a whine that escalates until it is a deeply resonant humming sound. You seem to have restored power to the maglev system. The spring-loaded induction switch pops back up to the retracted position. So what did it say about this? The switch is extended, which may imply that you have overridden the automatic control of the induction fields on the maglev track. Do the discs look any different? Nope. Okay. Why does that look like bullet holes? Alright, let's go back outside and take a look. You feel nothing but the cool surface of the rail. It is devoid of any electrical current or vibration. But I turned it on, didn't I? What happens if I put this disc on the rail? Oh, that disc is way larger than I thought it was. You place the metal disc on the rail. It floats gently above the rail, repelled by the strong magnetic field being generated by the maglev system. Can I sit on the disc? The disc is being stabilized by the powerful magnetic field being generated by the maglev track. It is very stable. You sit on the disc experimentally and it wobbles not at all. It could probably accommodate several tons of cargo without losing stability in the maglev. You get back off again. Alright, so I'm guessing that I need to go figure out a way to tell it. The disc resists your attempt to drag it away from the track, but you eventually manage to coax it away. As soon as you get it away from the magnetic fields over the rail, it becomes a heavy, awkward burden. Right, so I want to just double check that if I try to place the disc here, okay, so that's the same place. All right. I don't know, because like I said, I don't know how much of the game is left. You pull the induction switch, which actually seems more like a lever. Okay. So now I've got a certain amount of time. You hop on the disc before it starts moving. The disc is as steady as a rock. You might as well be sitting on the ground. Hello, I clicked. You grip the edges of the disc tightly and wait. Eventually, the induction starts pulling the disc forward. It glides down the track, picking up speed very smoothly and gradually. Before you know it, the ground is whipping under you at a frightening rate, and the wind is threatening to blow you off the top of the disc. The disc accelerates until it is going well over 300 kilometers per hour. The only way you can stay on board is to lock the joints of your suit so that it hugs the disc. It is a very unpleasant ride. You scream along the rail for quite some time, the black tower on the horizon getting closer and closer until it fills the sky. It must be 10 kilometers high. Finally, the disc begins slowing down. It slows down a lot quicker than it sped up, and the reason is soon apparent. The maglev rail ends abruptly about 1,000 meters in front of a black wall. The wall apparently guards the entrance to the huge tower. Now a sheer black wall rising overhead. When the disc stops moving, you walk over to the wall. A lot of components, huh? The obsidian wall that stands in front of the black tower is an imposing structure of a sheer face that is perhaps 30 meters tall. The wall is severely battle-scarred. It's obviously the site of a heavy fight. A Hulk. select hover tank, a dead spider robot. Oh, yay. Oh, so I can't get back to the other place, got it. But I can go this way. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm gonna think, I think that this is pretty close. I just don't know how long it's gonna actually take me, but I'm gonna try to push through to the end. The wall seems to continue forever, curving only slightly to surround the vast bulk of the Black Tower. The base of the wall is littered with war wreckage. Super tank. A mammoth tank sits next to the wall. You've never seen an armored vehicle of this size before. It is a metal behemoth. It is also the most intact of all the fighting vehicles that lie broken at the foot of the wall. Okay, get on now. You climb partway into the crater in the wall. The tank cut pretty far into the wall before it was hit. You wonder how much further it needed to go before punching through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Well, I'm going to assume that I'm not going to be able to just torch through this. You laboriously climb up on the side of the tank until you are perched on the top of the turret. Forest of antenna sprouts on the top of the super tank. You inspect the opening mechanism for a few moments and then try to turn what looks like the appropriate wheel on the hatch. It resists fiercely. Eventually, you manage to force it around once, straining with the effort. It takes several more revolutions and a few minutes of back-breaking work, but finally you manage to open the hatch. The inside of the tank is actually claustrophobic. Well, I mean, how could the inside of an inanimate object be claustrophobic? Makes you feel claustrophobic, sure. Sorry. A surprise considering the enormous bulk of the vehicle. There are seats for a gunner and a driver, each in separate little compartments surrounded by myriads of controls and screens. Hello, dude. The driver's skull is devoid of flesh. The helmet is still in place for the tank driver's skull. Interesting. You push on the heavy red breaker switch and it gives way with a loud snap. Power flows from the tank's reserve batteries to the onboard systems, causing some to short out in a shower of sparks. Still, enough of the systems are working so that the multifunctional display around the driver's console comes to life. The system breakers must have been tripped by the blast that killed the crew. Enough of the core electronics were preserved to allow a restart. Is this the drivers? I thought this was the gunner. Some of the malfunction displays have flickered back to life. Multifunction displays. While these touchscreen units appear functional, the rest of the controls remain dead. Tank driver system appears to be down. The tank is immobile. It isn't going. Okay, so. Screen has a targeting reticle centered over an image of the wall outside. Graphical image on this screen is the interface for the tank's targeting system. The main gun is locked on the crater in the wall outside. All you have to do is hit the fire button. The batteries and capacitors discharge at the maximum possible rate short of an uncontrolled explosion. The huge particle beam cannon comes to life. Well, there's a laser. Just because I'm paranoid. Nope. skyward in silent supplication. Inside crater. You climb further into the tunnel bored by the powerful particle beam cannon on the tank. The metal around you is still warm, but not as warm as you would think after being heated to thousands of degrees by a bolt of plasma. There is a blue light in front of you. It gets brighter as you get closer. Suddenly, you are falling. After a frightening drop, you land heavily on a metal surface. You regain your wits and look around you. Hello, Grey Goo Man. Okay. Oh, hello, sir. So the question is, did I just loop back on it myself? Or is this a different intersection? You must be inside of the base of the Black Tower. This appears to be a part of a warren of passages built in a familiar style. You recognize the materials, the look, and the feel of this place. This feels the same as the one installation. This feels the same as the installation on Persephone after the constructor robots had done their work. I've gone left, left, right, right. You think I need to follow the robots? Well, now I don't see the robots. Okay. I hope that was the right way. I accidentally clicked forward too fast. Ooh. The warren of passageways opens up on a huge vertical cylindrical cavern. A bridge hangs over the bottomless maw below you, ending in two platforms. Glowing rings hover over each platform. The rings look like doorways. Okay. What do you think? Right or left? Doesn't really give me an indication of what either of them do. Is this going to take me through or to the doorway? Alright, let's try left, see what happens. Wow, wow, wow. You feel like you are being transported again, only this time you seem to be lifted out of your body. Your mind is pulled into a sensory vortex, a spinning maw filled with sight and sound. When the world reconstitutes itself, you are somewhere else. Wow. Look how laggy this is. Do I need to up the cycles more or lower them? That's lowered cycles. Nope, definitely not lower. Okay. That's double the cycles. That seems to have gotten rid of most of it. Goblet. Simple golden goblets, 2/3 filled with crystal clear water. Marble pedestal. A door. Okay. The door is locked. The goblet is not helpful in opening the door. Okay. Guess let's drink it. You drink from the goblet. The water is pure and what? That went away too fast. Take the key. Open the door with the key. Things just keep getting stranger. You walked through the door in space, not sure what you were walking on or where you were going, and you wound up standing next to a stream surrounded by a lush forest. There's no trace of the door you came through, it just disappeared. Or maybe it was never there. Time and space seemed distorted. A beautiful stream flows through a dense forest. The sun filters through a canopy of leaves overhead, reflecting off the ripples in the stream. A carpet of sun-dappled plants, including ferns and flowers, grows around the trunks of fallen trees. We've got some deer, bird, a raccoon. Well, that's weird. Well, first of all, raccoon's spelled wrong, I think. Second of all, how come I know that's a raccoon and that that's a deer, but that not that bird is a heron? See, I know that it's a heron there. This is a constantly changing collection of scintillating, coruscating lights, lights that fade in and out to create a wavy effect.
Greetings.
Do not be afraid.
Bear with us as we explain what has happened to you and what lies ahead.
We are electronic life forms.
In your day, you would have called us AIs, or machine intelligences.
Because it's ChatGPT. It's coming to take my gerb.
We brought you into our domain, which you might think of as a kind of virtual reality or cyberspace, by establishing a direct neural connection with you through the pathways that were created in your brain by hype.
We know who you are, where you came from, and how you got here.
We came by
Not
this
Cotton Eye
knowledge in a
Joe.
way that violated your privacy in the most extreme and intimate way possible.
During the initial process of communication, we mapped all of your memories, scanned the structure of your personality and consciousness, and learned about you by applying stimuli and watching your responses.
We apologize for this intrusion.
So y'all raped me. Got it.
As you have probably surmised by now, you have come to Earth, a different Earth than you left behind when you started your voyage to Persephone.
You got here by traveling through a wormhole, created by the manipulation of an artificial quantum singularity.
The artifact you discovered and activated on Persephone controls that singularity, acting as a gateway through time and space.
You used the gateway to travel across 150 years and millions of miles, from Persephone in 2134 to Earth in the year 2295.
In the year 2295.
Your arrival here was not an accident.
You may be able to help us bring to fruition an ancient plan, a plan that may save 2 races and 1,000 star systems.
I was also probably looking afraid because I was had calibrated at a weird angle. Let's see if I try the same look on my actual face now. Yeah, that's a little better.
There is a lot of information to cover before you really understand what is going on.
Please ask questions and pursue the threads of inquiry in a way that will allow you to most comfortably assimilate the data.
I'm done. Let's go on. I mean, I can't save. Or I would just be like, yeah, I'm done. Fine.
The war officially ended when the United Nations and the Alliance signed the Washington Treaty in 2141.
So the Alliance succeeded in breaking away from the UN?
No. The Washington Treaty formalized the reintegration of former Alliance states into the United Nations. The Alliance suffered a total defeat at the hands of the UN.
How bad was it?
At the time the Treaty of Washington was signed, the war had accounted for 2.6 billion dead and 500 million injured. Almost all of the casualties were civilians.
I don't remember if they ever said what the population was at the time. So I don't know if that's a significant portion. I mean, obviously 2.6 billion would be right now over a third of of the world population. But who knows what the world population was supposed to be in this game.
What happened after the war?
For 140 years, the United Nations was the central government authority for the human race. What was left of the Alliance nations and colonies were rebuilt soon after the war, and interstellar exploration and colonization continued on a modest scale. At its peak, the United Nations controlled 20 billion people on Earth and 20 colony worlds.
So what happened?
The society was essentially static and rigid. This attempt at stasis defied a fundamental force of nature. Pressure built up over time and was eventually released suddenly and violently. When there is no evolution, there must be revolution.
All right, man.
What fundamental force?
Forward progress cannot be stopped. More specifically, the trend towards increasing complexity cannot be stopped. Human civilization has almost always moved forward, progressing towards higher levels of organization and knowledge. This forward motion is driven by technology and information. This trend in human history is a social manifestation of a pattern in nature that is as old as biological life itself.
What pattern? What are you talking about?
Biological life is self-organizing and trends towards higher and higher levels of complexity. This is the real life force. You can see it working from the very beginning of life on Earth, in the 4 billion year evolution from primordial algae to single-celled organisms, and then finally to human beings with incredibly sophisticated brains.
Okay, now we're going back to this line of question.
What was the pressure that built up over time?
Even though the UN succeeded remarkably well for a long time at controlling something that was fundamentally chaotic, the game had to end at some point. An underground, made up of former Alliance military officers and members of academe, was created shortly after the war ended. This bizarre alignment of interests made sense given the context: the pursuit of forbidden knowledge and the eventual overthrow of the UN. The underground set up covert R&D labs to pursue the exact thing that the UN was most afraid of: the creation of sentient electronic life forms.
And they pulled it off, didn't they?
The first truly sentient electronic life forms were created in 2284 by a renegade group of human scientists on a colony world somewhat aptly named Prometheus Beta. The two of us here talking to you are second-generation descendants of those original life forms.
Okay.
Some human scientists and philosophers were aware of the truth as early as the early 21st century.
The next stage in the universal drive towards increased organization and complexity is beyond the human race.
Humans cannot evolve fast
Twitch
enough.
chucked X1
Electronic
Bitties.
life forms are
We
the
added
next
ein Bits
step
to
up.
Dragon Gems power-ups
We are
redemption.
unencumbered by constraints imposed by 4 billion years of evolution in Earth's biosphere.
Natural selection is a powerful tool, and it can be made to work for electronic life forms in fast forward.
The basic questions of existence are beyond human beings.
They may yield to the next generation of intelligence.
I really wish that I could tell which of these voice lines my character was going to read. It's like, he didn't read the last one, but he read a bunch of the other ones. So what happened when the UN found out about the ELFs?
What happened when the UN found out about the ELFs?
The electronic life forms were tied into the physical world through robotic factories set up on the surface of Prometheus Beta.
As predicted in the middle and late 21st century, the new life forms began to evolve at a tremendous rate.
The UN discovered them at a crucial stage of development.
UN battleships tried to bake off the surface of Prometheus Beta with fusion weapons in an attempt to wipe out the life forms and their creators.
All human life on Prometheus Beta was eliminated.
The new machine life forms were nearly exterminated, but they learned how to adapt, survive, and fight back.
We were pushed into a brutal war while we were still children.
Unfortunately, like children, we made terrible mistakes, reacting violently to the attacks on us by striking back and killing large numbers of men and women.
These counterattacks only inspired even more hatred and fear in the human race and quashed the hope that we might find human allies and maybe even resolve the conflict peacefully.
Instead, the war escalated.
Yeah.
Within 2 years, it was clear to us that we were winning.
Our weapons and numbers became superior, and we were improving our technology at a geometric rate.
As we continued to develop and to fight, we began to believe that our survival was assured.
We began to think about the coexistence that lay beyond this conflict.
Unfortunately, the UN High Command had a last ace to play.
Mm-hmm.
In 2187, a human sublight colony ship was launched from the outskirts of known space towards a star 100 light years away.
No FTL drive was used.
The ship was pushed on its way by a combination of massive lasers, an ion drive, and a fusion pulse drive.
On board was a population of 2,000 men and women.
6 months after the ship was launched, the UN High Command detonated a doomsday device that they had kept in reserve.
This energy weapon created resonances along the Talsetto threads between stars to rip apart the fabric of space-time.
The first effects of the weapon were felt immediately after its use. All Talsetto jump points disappeared.
The community of electronic life forms in this solar system was cut off from all other star systems.
Humans were cut off as well. Interstellar travel and communications were terminated.
Nothing happened for a number of years after that.
We continued to fight the humans in the Sol system and eventually triumphed.
The wreckage that you saw on your way here was the result of that last battle.
Your son brought a friend in here, by the way.
The doomsday weapon is still working away even now.
We now know what is happening.
The resonances that were set up along the FTL jump threads have rendered the Talsetto junctions dynamically unstable.
About 2 years from now, a large section of the Milky Way galaxy will fold in on itself.
Every star that is connected by a Talsetto junction will be pulled into a singularity, a massive black hole caused by the folding of space-time.
Thousands of stars will be affected.
Every human being and electronic life form within the sphere of influence of that weapon will be annihilated. And that includes every living thing except those 2,000 humans aboard that colony ship.
Sure.
The colony ship is safely outside the radius of the destruction.
They are the only ones that are even close.
The star system that they are headed for is not linked to any other stars by Talsetto threads. It will be unscathed by the impending collapse.
I mean, that's kind of sort of implying that the Talsetto threads were created by us instead of just a natural thing.
This is the grim future that you have jumped into, human.
Your race was so determined to stay at the top of the evolutionary ladder that it destroyed 1,000 star systems.
Absolutely something that humans would do, yep.
Isn't every star connected to every other star? Back when we were first exploring Talsetto junctions, it seemed like the network of junctions was huge.
No, the network of jump points was finite and was completely explored and mapped by the middle of the 23rd century.
The next step in the exploration program was to send sublight probes to the nearest stars that weren't connected through the jump point network.
Perhaps these stars have jump points connecting to an entirely new network of stars and Talsetto junctions.
What the hell kind of weapon did they use anyway?
The principle behind it was a logical extension of the theory that led to the discovery of the Talsetto jump drive.
The weapon itself was probably a large energy source coupled with a computer system, a graviton resonator, and an array of Talsetto cores.
It was designed to create a dynamically unstable reaction along the space-time deformations that define Talsetto junctions.
Okay.
And you can't reverse the process once it starts?
In general, it is easier to do rather than undo, to destroy rather than to create or repair.
Without access to the rest of our community, we do not stand a chance of halting the process or repairing the damage.
Sure.
It's too late to send out a ship of your own?
Yes, it would not escape the collapse, even if it could go at the speed of light.
Every star that has a Talsetto link to another star will be destroyed?
Yes.
Okay.
What is the plan you referred to earlier?
Your arrival here gives us an opportunity to avert the catastrophe that we have described to you.
Before we explain how this might be, we have arranged for a demonstration of some basic principles.
Great, that sounds awesome. The AIs disappear in a flash, and you are once again hanging in space instead of a door In a pedestal in front of you, you see what looks like a plane in space. Numbers and letters are hovering above and below. A clock is at the upper right. This is really weird, maybe even beyond weird, but the weirdest part of all the collection of tiny little square creatures standing on the plane. Okay. Right? So now yet Jiffy talks forward. Okay, nothing's changing. Oh, okay. Jiffy's sit upon the grid intent on the square pattern created by the intersecting blue lines.
We are computer constructs.
What is this place?
This is our world. This grid is our world. We exist within 2 spatial dimensions. The grid is our world.
You look like you're standing on the grid. This would imply a 3rd dimension.
We appear that way to you because we are rendered that way. To us there is no up or down, only across. We are waiting to go home. We don't know. We know only that we must go there. A door will open in the world to take us home. We wait for the door to open. We don't know. We don't know. When we go home. This is our world. When we go home. This is our world.
Okay. Oh, so now they've moved. Okay, so we got a whole 10 seconds. Do all the Jiffies say the same thing?
When we. This is. When we.
Looks like it. Can I tell them to do anything? These letters define the y-axis of the grid. Okay. These numbers define the x-axis of the grid. Okay. So we've got 4 Jiffies.
This is our.
Should it be telling me something? Does it involve talking to people? I'm going to guess it has something to do with this time when there's a bunch of them standing there looking like they're about to fight.
The door came and went. Nevertheless, it came and went. We had no time to get through. All is lost. We cannot go home.
Okay.
Not long. We all have to be very close to make it through. Yes. No. We had. The universe. We saw it somewhere around position 5 on the
Okay.
x-axis. We didn't see where on the y-axis, however. It was just after 07 on the clock.
Hey, listen up. The door will appear somewhere around position 5 on the x-axis just after 07.
How do you know this?
I've seen the future.
Oh, okay.
What will you do?
We will array ourselves along the 5 column. We won't miss it.
Okay.
We saw the point on the y-axis where the door appeared. It was right in the middle of the world at coordinates 5C.
All right, when?
It appeared just after 07 on the clock.
Okay.
How do you know this? Oh,
I've seen the future.
we will array our...
Okay. So they're just telling me about the fact that ability to
We made it
transfer
home.
in and out.
Thank you.
Okay. Now what, you putzes?
Yes,
Who are those little guys?
Who were those little guys?
they were constructs created for the purposes of the demonstration.
Where'd
they go?
They were algorithmically created. They can be called up again if needed.
That doesn't tell me where they went. What was the point of the demonstration?
What was the point of the demonstration?
Quite simply, the point was to illustrate an important concept.
You can change the future by communicating information about the future to the past.
Okay. The gateway on Persephone can go both
The
ways?
gateway on Persephone can work both ways.
The gateway on Persephone wasn't built by aliens.
It was built by beings like us, beings that existed in an alternate timeline.
That timeline got overwritten when the installation on Persephone was discovered by the Alliance.
We hypothesize that the electronic life forms in the old timeline were threatened with extinction.
Perhaps they had been through a war with humanity and were facing doom in the form of the collapse.
Perhaps there were other circumstances that were leading to their demise.
Whatever the situation, they found a way to travel back in time.
They built the installation on Persephone with the intention of changing their past.
If that is the case, then it is likely that the installation has a wealth of information.
Perhaps it even has the building blocks for creating electronic life forms.
If so, then they can be brought into the world without the teething pains that we experienced.
There might be a chance for the Alliance to win the war against the UN, and for humans to coexist in peace with electronic life forms.
I mean, I don't know that the Alliance is actually gonna be peaceful.
We believe that the gateway itself was just an error-checking mechanism for the installation, a way of verifying that the knowledge contained in the installation had been applied successfully.
So there is at least the possibility of communicating information back from the future.
What happened to the gateway on Persephone anyways? Why didn't more people come through?
What happened to the gateway on Persephone anyway? Why didn't...
The Alliance relief fleet dispatched by Admiral Decker encountered another UN fleet near Persephone about 4 months after you went through the gateway.
The UN fleet lost the resulting battle.
Before withdrawing from the scene, the UN commander decided to keep the installation on Persephone out of Alliance hands.
She ordered a nuclear strike on the surface.
See?
The installation was reduced to radioactive glass.
Nothing useful was ever recovered from the site.
The plan put in motion by the beings in the original timeline was stillborn.
As you can see by the miserable situation we find ourselves in now, there wasn't enough of a change to have the positive effects that we believe were intended.
What's the best thing to put into a pumpkin pie? Your teeth.
So how can we use the gateway if it was blasted into slag?
A link
Get
between
out.
the present and the past does exist.
The destruction of the gateway does not change the fact that it was activated and remained on for several months.
How was I accounted for to my family when they didn't find me on the Lexington or the surface of the planet?
How was I accounted for to my family?
You were listed as killed in action.
The Alliance Command believed you were on the surface of the planet when the UN attacked the installation.
You haven't even seen the gateway. All you have are my memories. How can you be drawing conclusions?
You haven't even
We have learned a great deal in a short time just by having you come through the gateway and appear in our midst.
A great deal of theory can be validated without experiment just by the knowledge that your presence here is proof that it works.
Unfortunately, we don't know how the beings in the original timeline traveled back in time to build the installation on Persephone.
So you can go back through the gateway and change the outcome of the war?
So you can go.
It isn't that simple.
You just said you thought the gateway could be used to send back information about whether the changes worked or not.
You just said you.
Information, yes.
Matter, no.
There are some basic laws concerning conservation of mass and energy that would be violated by sending matter.
But information is in effect a form of energy.
But information.
Well, yes and no.
It depends.
It's complicated.
For the purposes of this game and the storyline, sure. So what you're saying is that you can't send anything back.
We can't send any matter back in time.
So what's the plan?
So what?
We think we can send information in a very limited sort of way.
Well, in fact, we can only think of one way to send back information.
You are the key.
When you came through the gateway, you left a kind of signature that we can track back through the gateway.
What we want to do is follow that signature all the way back to the time before the battle with the Dharma.
We want to send you information about this future before the battle for Persephone took place.
Say what?
Say what?
If you have foreknowledge of events, you will know how to avoid the ambush that nearly destroyed the Lexington.
You can use the Hype Telecon system on the Lexington to defeat the Dharma and change history.
The Alliance would gain access to the installation on Persephone.
The plan created by those who lived in the original timeline would be fulfilled.
More specifically, why did Captain Dayna not know that the Hype Telecon system was there and just get that all set up and done?
This timeline would be overwritten by a new and hopefully better timeline, one in which humankind and electronic life forms learn to coexist and live in peace.
How will you accomplish this? The machinery for the gateway was slagged.
How will you accomplish?
We are already building the necessary hardware.
What would the practical effect be?
What would the practical effect?
We would feed back a subset of the memories that you have acquired since the Lexington met the
It is
Dharma
indeed
in
hard
battle.
working. Very wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. Will I die here when this timeline is overwritten?
Will I die here when this timeline?
It is hard to say.
Did the beings in the original timeline ever exist?
There is certainly evidence of their existence in the form of the installation on Persephone.
You aren't being very reassuring.
You aren't being.
You haven't changed all that much since all of this began.
Your death will be a small one.
You will lose only a day or two.
We, on the other hand, may not have ever existed.
All right, how will this work?
How will this work?
Your consciousness can almost be thought of as an illusion, a pattern like a standing wave.
This delicate pattern arises from the interaction of the matter that makes up your brain.
We will apply a gentle stimulus necessary to change this pattern without directly affecting any matter.
The change in the pattern will cause a change in the underlying memories.
When would this happen?
When would this happen?
We would transfer the memories about 2 hours before the battle was to begin.
I was asleep.
I was asleep.
You will wake up with the memories already there.
You will have to act fast, however.
You won't have much time.
You should try to make this happen earlier. I need more time. I have no authority to be giving orders, taking hype, and trying to run things.
You should try to...
You will have to convince your superiors.
We can only transfer a limited amount of information.
We will also suffer a degradation in quality for every minute we move back in time.
It cannot be done any earlier.
I guess that means we're going to get more Michael Dorn, right? I'm going to go with this. I don't really care about what they're saying with either of these.
I'm willing to go back and try to set history on a new path. What should I do?
We will take care of the practicalities.
Are you sure you want to try this?
I choose to go back.
You have chosen a wise and honorable path.
You will never know.
Timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. Why would I even be experiencing this? You slowly regain consciousness.
Up and about, are we?
What'd she say? Up and about, are we?
Lieutenant Commander Tran, this must be the Lexington. I made it.
You're in the med lab. We had to carry you in here.
Oh my God, what time is it? What is the ship's position?
It's 21:45. We're about 30 minutes away from entering orbit around Persephone. The Jericho is in position behind us. Do you have anything to say, Lieutenant?
Do I have anything to say, Lieutenant? Why are you pointing a Mark II buzz gun at my head?
Why are you pointing a Mark II buzz gun at my head?
There was a report of a disturbance in your quarters. I authorized a petty officer and an ensign to break in. They found you writhing on the floor next to your bunk, screaming about hype, a UN ship called Dharma, Pandora, and the deaths of the entire crew of the Lexington. So here are my problems. First, you aren't supposed to know about hype. Only the captain, myself, and the medical officer have been given access to those files. Hype is classified top secret Omega. Second, you referred to a specific UN ship that has been unaccounted for by Alliance intel for months. The Dharma is one of the UN's new Geneva-class heavy cruisers. Another classified fact. This time, top secret Gamma. Third, you referred to our target on Persephone as Pandora, a classified codename given to it by Alliance mission planners. Last, and frankly most disturbing to me, you ranted and raved about everyone in the crew of this ship dying, except for you. Now I want some explanations, Lieutenant, and I want them now.
I don't know which of these is going to be a good one.
You won't believe a word.
Try me.
Well, it's like this.
Well, it's like this.
That is the most ridiculous story I've heard since I graduated from the Naval Academy. Now, I'm sorry, Lieutenant, but I'm trained to think of the simplest explanation as the most likely explanation. The simplest explanation is, you're a UN agent. You seem to know all about this mission. You've probably informed the UN as to our destination and time of arrival. Is that why you wanted to know where we are? You're expecting an ambush?
Have you informed the captain yet?
About you? Well, he knows that I came down here to find out what was going on. I haven't yet briefed him on the potential security problem. He's not going to buy your bullshit about alternate timelines and machine creatures.
Why don't you let me tell him? What have you got to lose?
Of course. We're loaded for bear anyway.
How so?
Yeah.
Computer, please page the medical officer and alert him that the prisoner will need to be put under sedation and restrained.
Okay.
Wait, please tell me. It's important. What harm can I do? I'll be unconscious during the action.
We'll have a full complement of drones out front and a standard screen as we go in.
The Dharma has 12 active drones. This disadvantage is made worse by the fact that her drones outclass ours. You can't win this battle without my help.
Your help? You've got to be kidding.
Sure.
I fought and won several battles in the alternate timeline. The key is hype.
No goddamn way. Hype hasn't even been battle-tested. I've had enough of your crap.
If you give me a boost of hype, the drug will take effect in time for me to fight that battle and win it.
Please keep quiet until the medical officer gets here.
You spoke real quiet there. I didn't hear what she said. While Tran isn't looking, you bound over to the auto dock and grab the handheld unit. She senses the movement out of the corner of her eye and comes very, very close to shooting you. When she sees that you aren't threatening her directly and have simply changed positions, she shakes her head, gestures with the gun, and watches as you move back towards the back of the door. All the while, you hide the control unit in one hand. Now, does it just do it automatically? Or do I need to be away? Because I do remember that they added this in. How do I initialize? Just exit? You carefully enter Dahl's panic code, a 3-digit auto-dock override that you remember from the note taped above the medical officer's console. As you surreptitiously key each digit, you look at Tran. Is she within the range of the sprays? Will they work quickly enough to knock her out before she can fire on you? When you enter the last digit of the code, the auto-dock hums and comes to life. The 2 articulated arms equipped with hyposprays wave frantically about, sending hissing jets of medication every which way in a pattern designed to saturate the immediate area. Tran hears the noise and turns around. It's too late. The hell? You hide Tran behind one of the bunks in the recovery room. She won't wake up for hours, and Dahl won't see her when he finally responds to his page and returns to the med lab. Then you head out of the med lab at a trot, passing one crewman who doesn't seem to be particularly surprised to see the ship's supply officer running up a corridor in his briefs. You arrive at your quarters, dress, and then quickly retrace the steps you took to the alternate timeline to acquire the hype serum and components. The multi-tool isn't in the cargo bay, but you manage to borrow one from Olivar with a casual request. Poole and Dahl are fortunately not in their staterooms. You hide in your quarters while hype is doing its terrible work on your brain. When you have recovered sufficiently from the pain and nausea of the drug, you make your way to the bridge. You only have a few minutes before the battle begins. You burst onto the bridge, breathing hard, the Hype Telecom headset under one arm. Captain Dayna is nonplussed.
What are you doing on the bridge, Lieutenant?
Sir, you're walking into a trap. I need to talk to you immediately.
This better be good.
All
A
right.
UN ship with superior firepower is waiting for us on the other side of that planet. She has 12 active drones that can outgun and outfly our Basilisk drones. There is only one way to defeat that ship, Captain.
How do you know about this, Lieutenant?
That is indeed Michael Dorn.
There's an objective test to confirm what I'm telling you. Send one of our drones around to the other side of Persephone. Monitor the telemetry. You'll find the Geneva-class heavy cruiser UNS Dharma and 12 Galley-class drones waiting to ambush us.
The Dharma.
Why did everything shift down?
Damn it. Why didn't this come up before? How do you know this?
I didn't know until recently. Sir, please deploy a drone. The fate of this mission and much, much more is riding on the next few minutes.
Lieutenant Mandan, take drone Foxtrot out of the screen and vector it into a polar orbit around Persephone. Maximum acceleration.
Yes, sir. Foxtrot is on its way.
Okay, Lieutenant. Let's assume for the moment that you're correct. How do we fight and win?
The med officer has tanked me up on Hype. I'll use the telepresence unit on the tactical console to win this battle. There wasn't time to alert you. We only have a few minutes.
Hype? Jesus Christ, I gave no authorization for use of Hype. You actually ingested that poison.
Yes, sir.
You're a dead man, Lieutenant.
I know that.
Who are you? Are you an Intel Special Ops plant? Do you have experience with the Hype Telecom system?
I'm the best hope you've got, Captain.
Sir,
Yep.
I've lost telemetry from Foxtrot.
You were right. And they popped my recon drone before it even had a chance to fire. We're dead meat if we try a standard attack pattern. Lieutenant, take tactical.
Wow, wow, wow.
Attack drone. Deploying. All enemy drones have been destroyed.
Oh yeah, Dharma. You're toast.
All enemy ships have been destroyed.
Is this just showing me what I just did? Or is this another show that's showing up? I don't want to click to move past this, but I'm pretty sure it's just the same stuff we were seeing before with the other fights. I don't want to accidentally skip over an actual important thing.
And so a new timeline was created, overwriting the old one that had been my reality. There was no material evidence that the alternate timeline had ever existed. All I had were my memories, and I knew that these would fade until the alternate timeline was really gone forever. After I refought the battle with the Dharma, I explained what had happened to Captain Dayna, and then went over it again with a groggy Lieutenant Commander Jennifer Tran. As unbelievable as they found my story, they were swayed by my hype-driven defeat of the waiting UN heavy cruiser. They were even further convinced that something extraordinary had happened to me when I exposed Poole as the traitor and produced the evidence of his activities. Poole was placed under arrest and sealed in his quarters to await trial on Earth. They agreed to my unusual request to go with the science team on the first run down to the surface of Persephone. The planetary lander once again made the trip from the Jericho to the Lexington and then down to the surface of the planet, this time with a crew of 5. I walked the science team through the gateway activation sequence inside the ancient installation. I took the science team leader in confidence and told her that I intended to go through the gateway once it had been calibrated, and I exacted a promise from her that she would destroy the gateway control mechanism once I had stepped through. I was waiting at the foot of the gateway when I heard the familiar whine build up and saw the beginnings of the space-time vortex forming. I stepped through and left the year 2134 behind me forever. As I record this, I am sitting on a raft that floats on a large but gentle lake just outside my house. I have lived in this ultimately comfortable house for about 5 years, ever since my arrival here. I wanted to make a record of my strange adventures before the memories disappeared. When I went through the gateway back in 2134, I materialized once again at a point 150 years in the future. This future was different. The Alliance did indeed win the war. The plan of the long-forgotten beings that created the installation on Persephone was brought to fruition. A new race of sentient machines now coexists in peace with a human race that numbers in the tens of billions of individuals. The new beings share their cyberspace world with us, and they have used vast space-based self-replicating robot factories to create something for us in the physical world. A gift, a tribute.
And they must have somehow also cured the problems that the hype was generated so he didn't die.
The Earth is gone. In its place is a Dyson sphere, a vast hollow construction that surrounds the Sun at the same distance the Earth once orbited. Continents and oceans lie on the inside surface of the sphere, forming an Eden-like landscape that is for all intents and purposes endless. For the Dyson sphere has enough surface area for 1 trillion Earths. It will take a good many millennia for the human race to completely populate its new home. Meanwhile, the new beings that we now share the universe with are living on the outside of the sphere. They pursue the basic questions of existence. They have launched the first intergalactic ships. They have long since passed the point where we can even comprehend what they are doing. As for me, I find all of this to be a mixed blessing. The evolution of these fantastic and powerful beings was inevitable. But what of us? What of humanity? What purpose have we now beyond simple existence?
Okay.
And what of the other me? The one that was stranded in the grim and decaying future of the alternate timeline? Did I die?
No, you never existed. Indeed.
Twitch chucked X4 BTs. We added ein Bits and 3 bonus bits to Dragon Gems Power-Ups Redemption.
Yeah, that was definitely a longer session than I normally do, but I did miss last week. Got a tooth extracted and a bone graft put in for it. On the process of getting an implant. So, definitely did not want to be streaming after that. Had a rough couple of days there. But that was Mission Critical. I'm going to assume that I don't know if they did it, but it's I'm going to assume that the 3 people that we actually saw and talked to us were Michael Dorn, Christina Charborough, and I don't remember what the third person's name was, but I'm guessing that was the guy who played the Admiral. Graphics, John Ellis. This was another Legend Entertainment game. I like it a lot. Very different from the other ones. I feel. Acted a little different. Was more of a FMV than it was just an adventure game. It was almost like Myst-like, but obviously a different, like a sci-fi setting. As far as the ethical and technological questions raised, the ending seemed a little trite and contrived to me, but that's okay. As far as pacing goes, it was pretty good. Yeah, it was a real good game. I liked it. Mission Critical, Legend Entertainment. This was the DOS version. Came on 3 CDs, of which the first CD is entirely made up of the opening credits and the opening bit of FMV to get you up and running, and then as soon as you get past that and try to actually go into the game itself, you got to immediately load into the second disc. And that was a good chunk of the game, and then the third disc we didn't get into until the very end there. But I think I'm going to go ahead and jump over here. I don't know if there's any after credits sequences or anything. I'm not sure how much left there is. Oh, here we go. Michael Dorn was the captain. Charbonneau was the other person who showed up on screen as Lieutenant Commander Tran. I don't see... Oh, it was the third guy down back there, was the Admiral. The other people, we just heard their voices. We did not actually see them on screen. All right. Thank you all very much for coming and hanging out with me while I played some more of this. No, okay. What you guys missed was a special thanks to friends and family for patience and understanding, which is pretty nice little thing. I was just going back just in case there was more of that or there was an after credit scene.